Zach, let's get back to the hotel.
First Anna, then Becky, now Diane.
What's the connection?
I'm not looking forward to writing this investigation report.
Agent Morgan. York. Do you have a moment?
Sure, bro.
What is it, George?
There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Do you have any time later?
Of course.
Can't we just do it here?
If possible, I'd like to go to a bar. Of course, we don't really have to.
A bar? Now that sounds like a good idea.
Let's hit it.
Zach, what do you think?
Yes.
We can go drinking with George, or turn him down and head back to the hotel.
Those are my options. Let's go for a drink. I noticed the victims have been alphabetical. I wonder if that means anything. Because the next name up is Emily.
George, that scar on your cheek. Where did you get it?
This? Didn't I tell you? Well, it's not from work. I got it when I was a kid.
A childhood injury. Tree climbing? I used to get a few scrapes myself climbing the big tree in our backyard. I used to climb it a lot. And fall out of it a lot.
Yeah.
This wasn't anything like that, though. It was my mother. She did it.
Oh, who's that fancy
sorry,
woman in the
George.
back?
Don't worry. It's ancient history. The world is flooded with unreasonable violence. The strong overpower the weak, adults over children, men over women, and criminals over their victims. I have no memories of my father. He left before I knew him. My mother would hit me every time I asked why.
Damn.
And it didn't stop there. If I ate too slow, left my shoes scattered around, TV volume too loud, she found reasons to hit me. Hit me bad.
That's horse shit.
The worst was what she called the tree punishment. She'd whip my back with these thin tree branches like a whip.
Ah, well, that's the scars.
Please, Mama. I won't do it again. That hurts, Mama. I'm sorry, please. I'm sorry.
Tree punishment was definitely the worst, I tell you. Just hearing those words used to make me shiver and want to pass out. And that's why I didn't want to show you those scars on my back. Every time after the tree punishment, she'd always say the same thing. This is hurting the tree more than it is hurting you.
Then why the fuck are you doing it?
And me. Being a naive, dumb kid, I believed her. I went to the woods to apologize to the trees.
No, that's sweet. Well, he knows about the scars. I wonder if York will tell him about Zach.
I kept asking myself, why is she hurting me this way? I thought long and hard about it. In the end, I've just figured I'm weaker than her. That's why. It's the law of Mother Nature at work. The strong eat the weak.
But now, you have the power to protect the weak.
That's right. Perhaps I should thank my mother for guiding me into this line of work.
I guess you know who to stop.
York.
What's up?
I've been an arrogant fool, haven't I? And if it weren't for me, both Becky and Diane would still be alive.
That's
I
kind
could
of
have
true.
saved them both. You know, it's almost like they died because of me.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah.
I invited you to this bar for a drink. But I guess this bar is my confession chamber. And I wanted you to listen.
No better
And to tell you,
place.
well, you must already hate me for causing all these problems, not following your orders. York, I'm sorry. I'll follow your orders from now on. You'll have my total cooperation.
Cheers.
George, you've been as cooperative as you can be. You even invited an FBI guy to a bar for drinks. You've done a good job protecting this town.
Word up.
And the folks here respect you for that. Nobody can blame you for anything.
Thanks. I do feel a little better. Since we're here, why don't you talk to a few other people?
10-4, buddy.
I'll just finish off my drink. Let me know before you leave, okay?
Roger Dodger. Oh, that's Carol? She is looking fancy.
Hey, Carol. Becky is dead. Diane, too.
Thanks for breaking the news.
We've got Nick in custody as a suspect.
Nick didn't do it.
I know. Carol, you took a locket from Diane, didn't you? A locket with this mark on it.
That's just... oh.
I'm busy, gotta go.
What's that dust coming from her feet? And why is she walking that way? That was unique. So, got anything more to say? My brother's at the sheriff's department, isn't he? Poor guy, having to watch over Nick who didn't even do anything. How do you know that he didn't do anything? What can I get you? He looks just like the piano player. 2 black eyes. Thought I saw Quint earlier. Duckets. I can't go up on stage? What a crock of crike. Oi, crikey. You don't need to go just yet, do you, Zach? I think I'm okay. I can handle it. Don't mind if I do. No? Just no? Cartoon theme songs. That's our thing, right, Zach? Whatever you say. Unalife. What's that mean? Movie poster. Unalife. Oh. Is opening in theaters. Must be a movie about some girl named Anna. Looks very interesting, Zach. We should go check it out sometime. I disagree. Is that a butt? Alright. Just dropping butts everywhere. Poster of Carol with 2 L's and 2 R's. You heard her sing, didn't you, Zach? I love the part where she shifts from minor 7th to major. And the pentatonic scale melody is really pleasant to listen to. No, it's not like I can actually play an instrument myself. Indeed. Well, that was weird. I suppose I'm about to leave, George.
Sorry to keep you waiting, boys.
Is that Emily?
Zach. Emily is already a goddess of the forest.
Does that mean she's about to die?
Let's forget work for a bit and drink a little, shall we?
Why don't you work on matching your
Why is
voice up
she
to
here?
your lips?
I just thought the more the merrier. You know, to relax and get loose. Is this a problem?
No, of course not. Pardon me, Emily, but I'm pooped. I think I'll just call it a night.
George, I just got here and you're walking out on me? I was hoping the 3 of us could have a drink and let out a little steam.
I'm afraid I've already had enough. And I already had a good man-to-man with York. So I'll see you guys.
Alright, George. No pressure. That's weird.
I think George likes you, but he's avoiding you all at the same time.
How astute.
There's a reason?
Nothing
It is a little
worth going
inappropriate.
into. It's a thing of the past. Okay. He did ask me out when I first came to town. I was still in high school,
Wow.
but I never really considered him my type.
What,
And
40 years
there's the
older
age
than
gap
you?
thing too. I respect
thank
him,
you.
of course. I wouldn't have taken his job otherwise.
So, did you move to this town alone?
Of course not. I came with my parents.
Tell me about them then.
Sure, why not? My dad dealt in stocks in New York. He was hardly at home when I was a kid, always working.
Mm-hmm.
Those pieces of paper were far more important to him than I was. Which is no different now, really. I don't see much of him. My mother, totally different story. A wonderful person that I still respect. She was always kind and understanding. Not only that, but she would always help me find my way. She could be fierce, too, scolding me if I took a wrong step. We had our battles, sure, but all in all, She was a wonderful mother.
Past tense?
Yeah, she's gone now.
Oh.
Cancer, just before I graduated high school. She gave this to me just before she died. I take it with me wherever I go. It's what I treasure most.
I'm sure she's very proud of you.
A long, awkward pause. Galaxy of Terroir.
I had a good time tonight. Good night,
Don't you need
See
an
you tomorrow.
umbrella?
York.
Yes.
Please, don't lie to us, okay?
Why would I do that?
I won't. Don't worry. I won't.
Where's my other car? No, this'll do. Alright, we're almost back. You might notice that I suffered a little damage. Flipped the car a couple times. You know, these things happen. Typewriter brand typewriters. Why is he still using a typewriter? When is this game set? I do not know.
Zach, let's go over our progress.
From what Olivia told us, and the sketchbook we found at Becky's house, Nick and Diane became our primary suspects. There were a couple of reasons for this. First, Becky gave the missing locket to Diane. Also, Nick has no alibi for when Anna and Becky were killed. We followed Nick to the art gallery, which led us, unfortunately, to our third victim.
Indeed.
The third victim, Diane, was strung up in the entrance hall of the art gallery. Her hands were tied and a knife was sticking out of her chest. However, there was a marked difference from the previous crimes.
Do you remember what that was, Zach?
She was very much alive.
That's right. Diane was still alive. This suggests that very little time had passed since the crime was committed. Which means the criminal was still close by. It was someone near the scene. There are two possible candidates. Nick, who was knocked out in the entrance, and one other.
Zach, who was the other person in the gallery?
Kaysen. Forrest Kaysen.
That's right. Kaysen. We followed Willie, good dog, all the way
Yes,
down.
he is.
Kaysen's statement came out as follows. He and Diane were in a physical relationship. That was why he visited the gallery. The two were in the middle of such a meeting when Nick showed up. Diane lost her cool and shut Kaysen up in the basement. Now, what did Kaysen hear when he was locked up?
Boots.
That's it. The sound of boots passing by. Nick was wearing boots that day,
And every day.
which means it was likely that Diane met with Nick in her room. Nick said he argued verbally with Diane about her playing around with men, but they eventually decided to go out drinking to make up. However, immediately after that, Nick was attacked by someone in the entrance hall and knocked unconscious. We saw the rest.
Zach, do you think that Nick is our serial killer?
I don't know.
Me too. Usha sent in a report too. He found a large volume of red seeds in Diane's stomach.
That would explain why she spit them up.
This confirms her as a victim of the raincoat killer. Remaining leads. There is the locket, which is in Carol's possession, the man with the tattooed back, and the upside-down peace sign. There's a lot left to answer. I hope the coffee will give us more guidance tomorrow.
That's something we can all hope for. Please take off your shoes before you
Zach,
get into
what
bed.
did you think about George pouring his heart out? I was surprised. It's the end of a monarchy. And he called me York instead of Agent Morgan.
Uh-oh. Annie, get your gun.
Emily? What's going on? Do you know what time it is?
I'm sorry. I couldn't sleep, so I was drinking alone.
My mother was a very kind woman. She always smiled so brightly. Baked cakes and cookies every day. She'd say that I needed the sugar because I spent so much time thinking. My father was always quiet. We never talked much. He was a federal agent, just like me. And he was hardly ever at home. The only words he ever had for me were harsh ones. I had a vivid imagination, and I remember he once said this to me. There are plenty of crazy things in this world. You don't have to go dreaming them up. And it's my job to make sense out of them. One day you'll understand what I'm saying. I found out later that my father was one of the first to ever use criminal profiling to catch bad guys. And so now I'm doing exactly the same job that he did. Like father, like son.
Can I ask you something?
No.
Shoot.
Oh.
Mind if it's something personal?
Is it about this blurry
Fire
picture
away.
of a girl in a bikini behind me?
Who's Zach?
It's me. I'm Zach.
Zach is a friend of mine.
Oh, so you do have friends.
Yeah. He's my only friend.
Thank you.
What kind of person is he then?
Young, black, and his hat's real low.
Well, I've never seen his face. But he's always with me, and we discuss everything.
I look a lot like York, actually.
When did you become friends?
A long time ago. Back when I was a child.
Whoa. Is that Papa York?
I was 7. I woke up one morning to hear my mother crying in the living room. This wasn't normal, so I headed in to see her. My father was there pointing a gun at my mother. I was so scared. I closed my eyes, so I don't remember much more. But I do remember the words my father said to me. At times we must purge things from this world because they should not exist, even if it means losing someone that you love. When I came back to my senses, they were both dead. He shot my mother and then killed himself.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Don't worry about it. Zach's with me. It was around that time that we became friends.
I'm here. I'm with you, he said. I'll be here always. We can get through this together. Quite aside from that terrible scene in front of me, that voice seemed to make me calmer. And here we are, working together, getting through things.
This is the first time I've ever told anyone about this. I wonder if Zach will get angry.
Nope, I'm cool.
That's a sad story. But I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I'm sure there was a reason for what your father did.
I know. I think maybe I became an agent to find out why he did what he did.
Oh yeah, York, I forgot to thank you.
Thank me? For what?
You saved my life.
Oh yeah, I did.
If you didn't save me at the gallery, I would have died along with Diane.
No need to thank me for that. I'm pretty useless.
That's not true.
I couldn't save Becky. I couldn't save Diane.
What did you just say? Useless? I was never expecting to hear you say that. Huh. There might be a modest guy in you after all.
Yeah,
Finally,
and his
you
name
noticed.
is Zach.
You're a little slow, aren't you?
Maybe hopeless, but not useless.
Well said. Take off your
Zach.
damn shoes!
Do you think Emily got home safely?
Why didn't you let her sleep in your
Anyway,
bed?
I think it's more serious of a situation than I thought.
It's
Do you
raining,
remember
motherfucker.
our conversation with Emily? She's really interested in you. I think she's starting to have certain feelings for you.
If that's the case, Zach, you and I are rivals.
Whoa.
This is a very serious situation indeed.
Isn't there some, ethical or legal thing about that?
Well, if it comes to that, let it be a fair fight. Agreed?
Well, she can only get to me through you, so I think you have this fight sewed up.
Thomas! Let me out of here! Come on, please! Just for a moment. 1 second.
What? Eat a dick.
Here, Thomas. I think I'm going mad.
Well, suck a dick straight up.
You there? Come on, please! Thomas! 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 Thomas!
Who's that? Hmm. That wasn't quite the same, was it? Wow. Quite interesting. I did hardly anything that chapter. Well, see you next time. Bye.